Robert from CreateGames.com. I wanted to share a project that I've been working on. I was inspired a few weeks ago, watching videos, say from Black Magic Craft from Wylock or Runehammer with Hanker Inferno. They made it seem so easy to put dungeon tiles together, and I wanted to try my hand at that and do some DIY dungeon tiles. And to kind of show you how this how this process kind of puts together, I'm not the most crafty kind of hands-on type of person. Most of my stuff is more kind of digital design, but this was a fun way, kind of creative way to put some tiles together, get some really easy and actually fantastic looking dungeon tiles you can put down on your table. This is the pink. It's called Foamular. In different places in the world, it's basically the same material. You put it into your walls as insulation. They kind of come in two different types. There's a pink version and a blue version, at least in where I'm located. But anyway, you can go to a like a Home Depot or Lowe's if you're in the U.S. But anywhere they have material for house building or buildings. And so very simply, this is a clear ruler. Just went through, marked off the first thing I did was I took a big heavy rock and just smashed the top of this to give it a different texture. And you can see it put these nice sort of cracks and divots into everything. And then I went through it with a ruler. And then lightly scored. You're going to need an X-Acto knife to go through and just do a light scoring on each one. And then you run through with a tip of a black pen. Again, there's quite a few videos online from both those folks. Also, DM Scotty has a few where he takes foam and builds it into different stuff. Each one of those gives you kind of walkthrough, but I wanted to kind of show off the stuff that I was able to put together, because I don't consider myself really on the same caliber in sort of the crafting of these other folks, but just kind of show how easy it is. This is actually my first time kind of going through. And then you take this foam and you cut it down to size. So I went through and made some different sizes. These are some of the smaller ones. 3x3 is a good way to start. And then to do some of the detailed kind of divots here, you can take a ball of foil, and this is something that Wylock shows in his videos, but going through and just kind of texturing the sides and just make it look like, weathered stone. So the heavy crafts come in from the large rocks, and then the foil gives you the nice kind of detailed texture. And then you use, I used a kind of a Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch. This is 2X. I wanted a flat black. You have to be careful with some of this stuff, because the other material that they put in the can, propellant to make the paint go out, can also be reactive to the foam. So you have to be really careful how you spray this. Make sure you use, keep some distance from the foam and keep it moving as you're spraying it. On some of my samples, I found out that if you let the propellant hit too closely, it'll actually react with the foam. But that'll give it a nice black, and this almost looks like a charcoal when you cover it with this stuff. And you can see that this gives you kind of your base. It also acts as your primer for the next steps. And then just a couple different colors. When I went to the hardware store, they had these 50-cent cast-off wall. This is a gray. They had a bunch of cast-off paint that I was able to get for really cheap. And then what you do is you kind of layer up the colors using dry brush. So just going over really lightly, and when you dry brush, it really kind of pulls. Actually, I'll show you this sample, because I think the sides were textured and came out a little bit better. But when you go through and dry brush, it'll highlight the raised edges and just give you this nice looking kind of stone color. For this one, it's really just a two-tone. I put the black down and put the gray on top. I might hit it with something even a little bit lighter. And then you see how it just kind of catches the ridges for each one of these, makes it look really great. But just living proof that, if you have these kind of natural materials and following these steps, you can come up with some pretty cool dungeon tiles by yourself. The last step that I did is I hit it with Mod Podge. This is the same stuff you'd use for paper mache. It's essentially a glue and actually a sealer in one, and it gives your dungeon tiles a little bit harder texture and feel, and also kind of seals in the paint so it's a little bit harder to scrape off. Anyway, I'm going to be making some more of these different sizes. This is one one of the largest sizes I was going to do, so I have a nice big one to work with. And then I was going to make a bunch of these smaller ones to make it easy to put the levels together. And I'll give you an idea what that looks like once I get that done. If you'd like to see more of this stuff, check us out online. My website is crickgames.com. Follow us, Crick Games LLC, on Twitter. If you like these videos, want to see more of them, like or subscribe to us on YouTube. And enjoy your next RPG game, and game on.